So guys, this is Brick Prison 418. Today we have our Cr12 with us again, and we just bought this Shapeways Cr12 Servo mount. It's a 3D printed new servo mount, which we already hooked up to the servo. So that's how it goes. So with 2 more screws, of course. Just so you know how that goes if you do buy this yourself, we'll leave a link down in the description.
And we'll show how to put it on there later.
Yeah, so we took off the servo and the little mounts it had, and we marked a spot where we're going to have to cut off this battery tray.
Because this here goes.
Because it's going to sit just like that. So.
And these go inside the frame rails.
Yeah. So we took off all that stuff, and we had to cut off all the little zip ties on the side that held the wires on to get the servo wire out of there, so you could stick it in here. So we'll have to get new zip ties for that. So next we're just gonna cut this little area out, and we'll mount the servo on it.
So we'll take these 4 screws off, and this will come off. Alright guys, now we're going to cut this off. Instead of cutting the notch out, we're just going to cut this in a straight line all the way down. So if you're doing this, we're going to use a cutting wheel, and make sure you wear hearing protection and safety glasses, and have it in a vise or something. Still might be a little bit left to cut off, but when we're done, we're gonna take these burrs off so you don't cut your fingers on that.
Alright, we're going to go ahead and put this back on the truck, and then we'll attach a servo. Alright, so now you can see we got it mounted back onto the truck. And you got the ESC and all that back on it. So what we're going to do next is take off these 2 little pins on the sides holding the bumper on. So then we can just slide the servo mount into the rails. You can see that's how the servo goes on if you buy this piece. You can kind of see what it's shaped like. Wire in the front, that'll be in the front just like that. It'll go on just like that, so you can see how it'll go on. So you can see it just slides right in there, and it'll line up with the 2 old holes for the old servo mount, which is really just the 2 little clamps. And you just have to push it back a little bit. You can see the holes line up on the sides with the holes inside the mount.
And you can see why we had to cut the plate off.
Yeah.
Clearance. But it's not a big deal because it's not a very structural piece from here onwards. And you can get this in different colors too.
Yeah, we just got white because it's cheaper.
You don't want to tighten one end if you get it in all the way, because then it'll be really hard to get the other ones lined up. So just do all of them at the same time.
Alright, so there you can see we got all the screws in, and now we're going to put the bumper back on. Alright, so we got the servo horn on there, and we're pretty sure that's where it goes, straight like that. So next we're going to just connect this little driveline thing directly to it. Alright, looks like we got it on there pretty well. So, that there should fix the bump steer, where it goes too far to one side, and then it won't steer back the other way. Of course, maybe not.
We'll have to trim it.
You'll have to do some steering trimming, and maybe even a reversal, because it's been turned around, but we'll see what happens, and we'll show you the results.
And we're putting a bumper on.
See, it slides in there just like that. You got two little screws.
So far the truck has been pretty easy to modify. Alright, so next we're hooking up all the electronics. Got a bunch of the lights here. Servo wire.
These are the lights.
And you're supposed to zip tie it to the frame
The
rail.
side of the frame rail, yeah.
We got the battery hooked up, and then you want to trim the steering now.
Really needs to go to the right.
Alright, we're actually going to put the servo horn back on, facing this direction, because we couldn't trim it enough to get it to come off.
So, yeah.
Stay tuned. Alright, so what we did was we turned the truck on, and you can see that the tires turned when it thought it was straight. So we took this off and turned the wheels, and then took this off and put it back on where the wheels were turned.
So the servo still thinks it's straight.
Right.
So
We didn't have to trim it. And we're putting the servo horn back on.
there we go. Alright, you can see the steering is working flawlessly. It seems like we're not experiencing any bump steer, even though we are on this surface, which could cause it to get a little hogged up. It seems to be working pretty well.
And there's still plenty of ground clearance there.
Oh, yeah.
So it didn't affect that at all.
No.
So that part was probably worth the $15 or whatever that it cost.
Yeah, something like that.